What's up? Welcome back. I'm John Stark from ActiveMovieGuy.com, your favorite blind film critic, and I'm going to break down Dying for Sex. Thought I was going to make a joke about how I'm dying for sex, but this is actually based on a true story, so it's not as hilarious as you think it is going into it, even though it's presented in sort of a comedic fashion. I just don't want to do that, so we're just going to straightforward Dying for Sex. It's available on Hulu with audio description. And it's a limited series. It's based on a podcast, and I'm blind, so I watch it with audio description. So click like and subscribe because you probably don't subscribe to a blind film. As a matter of fact, if you don't subscribe to me, I know you don't subscribe to a blind film critic. So why not? Uh, we've got Michelle Williams, Jenny Slate, Rob Delaney, Jay Duplass, which is a fresh breath of air. I feel like Mark has been doing a lot of work, so it was nice to see Jay getting some love there, and Sissy Spacek because yeah, Sissy Spacek. Uh, it's based on Molly, who was a real person, and she documented with her friend Nikki. Molly's played by Michelle Williams. Nikki is played by Jenny Slate, and Molly finds out that she has metastatic breast cancer and she could die. She may have a very short time left on this earth. And even though she's undergoing therapy and treatment, her prognosis is not great. And she sort of reevaluates her life and where she is and what she needs. And part of that comes down to deciding that she's never really had great sex. She does not know what it is to have an orgasm. So she wants to explore what that is, which means unfortunately leaving her husband of 15 years and going on an exploratory route through one of the most personal things, and doing this while also being very frank about it and being open about it. I guess in podcast form, I didn't listen to the podcast, but she chooses her best friend to be her her voice, her representation, her medical proxy throughout this instead of her husband, so she leaves her husband. And so Jenny Slate steps up as Nikki, and they've been best friends forever. And there's this connection between the two of them that is amazing throughout the whole series. And it's like 75% Molly's journey and like 25% also checking on Nikki and where she's at. But Jenny Slate, every time she has the opportunity, absolutely brings it in every single form. For a former Saturday Night Live co-star, she has an amazing amount of dramatic depth here as Nikki. I loved it. I expected it from Michelle Williams. You know, from Michelle Williams, you expect her to come in and nail the dying from cancer part of the story. And for her, it feels more like the question is, well, how's the comedy going to work out? And Michelle's done stuff like this before. It's not like she's void of comedy in her resume, but it's definitely a very frank comedy that has some very risque topics to talk about every single episode. And it does go into very kinky things having to do with sex. But Nikki's character is presented a little bit more straightforward, and it's Jenny Slate reacting a lot, and the world is sort of, her world is sort of crumbling, you know, in and around, but she is the rock that is going to hold up Molly, and she's going to be there to the end. So a lot of things also happen in her life, but she is the constant for Molly, and she shows up in every way possible for somebody who's not necessarily prepared to do so. And that's what's so great about Jenny, is that she manages to harness that, to harness the, I have no idea what I'm doing, but by God, I'm going to do it. You know, the idea of being told you're in charge, not having a rule book, not having a guidebook, not having any idea what being in charge even means, and just running with it. So I thought Jenny Slate's performance was amazing, and I hope both her and Michelle get Emmy nominations. I'm a little concerned for Michelle because the Best Actress category in a limited series is really stacked this year. And but I think Jenny running and supporting should have no problems. I would be shocked if she didn't get nominated. I don't know what. There are good performances in supporting actress, but I support a lead actress when I do my prediction videos. I know lead actress in a limited series is going to be a beast to try to go through that category. So I think there's room, but I don't know that it's guaranteed because I think there's room for more people than there are in the category. So that's the problem. The other person I would advocate for is if we can get 2 supporting actress nominations. I'd also love Sissy Spacek to come along. She plays Molly's mom, and she's not in a lot of the series, but everything she's in is great. Like her scene, especially the final episode, fucking heartbreaking. She is. This is why Sissy Spacek shows up. This is why you call Sissy Spacek. Is you're like, have you read episode 8? Oh my god, I need an Oscar winner. You know what I'm saying? Like I need Sissy Spacek to be here. So, yeah, I mean, absolutely delivers because it's one of those shows where you know where it's going to end. Like, it's not a spoiler. The movie is what it is. The show is what it is. There was a podcast. This is like truth and it can't change. And unfortunately, you know where the road is going. You know where the road is headed. It's like the joke that everybody makes about Titanic, right? About telling people the boat sinks, and you know somebody being upset and be like, "Don't tell me the boat sinks." I'm like, I what? I'm sorry that you never went to school, or even were homeschooled, or Google, or I have no idea, man. So yeah, I mean, there's some things that you just walk into this and you 99.99999% of the people who watch this will know where the show is headed. And it just won't be a spoiler. So, should be able to pick up on that. But there's always going to be that one person who's like, oh, spoilers. So I can't say it. But we all know. Yeah, so I thought the audio description to this was really great because for all of the I'm gonna keep using the word kink for all the kinky stuff that they keep putting in here. Just you know, everything from BDSM to golden showers. Everything that's in here is described in some form as well as they can. It's not. It's one of those things that you have to do right. Like you have to have somebody who's not squeamish about sex, who's not. Bridgerton did it really well. Bridgerton has the most erotic audio description that I've heard in a long time. It's amazing. It's great. I really love Sexy Beast too because I didn't love the show so much, but the audio description for that show, which on Paramount Plus, was really good because the series is about porn. Like there's actual porn shooting that happens in that series. Like it's being shot. So yeah, they have to describe some of the sex as being this like sort of representation of hardcore porn sex. And so dying for sex, he's got sex in the title. Like, you know what you signed up for. Don't come in here with your prudishness and say, oh, it's too much for me. It's called dying for sex. What did you... I could understand if they went with like sort of an ambiguous title where it's like clouds. I don't know what this is. Okay, I'm gonna click on clouds and say, oh my god, you know, like, but yeah, my life, the Molly story. You're like, oh, I don't know, oh god. So yeah, I mean, if you clicked on dying for sex and you're not ready for sex, then that's a you problem. That's not an audio description problem. So the performances here are why I love the show. I didn't love the show so much because, and this is just, I know it's an adaptation, so it's hard to condense an entire, first of all, it's a podcast. So it's hard to condense an entire person's life into 8 episodes and then a podcast form and switch that into a TV series. I kind of felt though that like there were times where even though the show is supposed to be about Molly exploring and trying to find the great O in the sky, that there were times where she felt like she was just there to serve the men. I mean, there are times where she picks up and she's, I guess you could say she's still exploring her sexual preference and choices and stuff like that and doing things that she hadn't done before, but she's doing like largely like dominatrix BDSM stuff. And the golden shower thing doesn't really seem like it's her. It seems like she's doing that for other people. You know what I'm saying? Like she feels like she's still, it feels like going into this that what we're picking up on is that Molly felt like she was always the receiver, or the not the one who was to uh, receive pleasure, but to give pleasure, I should say. The passive person in any sort of sexual uh, relationship, not the person who the sex was for. And now, so she's on this like limited experience to try to get in as much as she can. And it should feel like it's more for her. That's all I'm saying. I'm not, it's not, I'm not ashamed of anything about this show. I just felt like, shouldn't it be more about Molly's pleasure and less about other people's? Um, so, and maybe part of that is just the approach to the thing, but I never really felt like she was, and part of that is her hesitation and not knowing. It's an exploration of, I see all sides of it. I see the side where it's like, well, yeah, but that's also, I mean, you can have pleasure from being the dominatrix, and it's not always about being dominated, and you can derive pleasure from being in that situation, from being the one. But it doesn't really seem like, and I know it's because she's trying it out and she's new to it and it doesn't really, but it's just kind of the way that it plays. It feels like she's doing things for other people still. And I kind of wanted her to just be boldly fucking everything that moves in her own way. You know what I'm saying? For her. Like that's kind of what I thought I was signing up for. Was this sort of eat, pray, love for Molly. Like her own journey, her own experience. This is my story and I'm taking control. For 8 episodes before I die, it's going to be all about me and my journey, but it doesn't always feel like that. It feels like she's still trying to please other people. So that's the only thing that keeps me from saying Dying for Sex necessarily is the greatest series on television, but man, the performances are knockouts. Michelle, Jenny, and Sissy are fucking amazing. Just every episode, incredible. No notes. I thought every scene that they had was great. Of the 3, Jenny Slate impressed me the most because she's working most outside of her wheelhouse here. This is not her comfort zone, and she is as good, if not better, in some scenes than everyone else around her. There are some scenes where she's because her character is already sort of the comic relief of the series, where she nails how to perfectly thread the needle by being both funny and absolutely devastatingly sad at the same time. And blown away by Jenny Slate. So I've already seen Michelle Williams doing amazing things. I've already seen Sissy Spacek do amazing things. I've seen Jenny be amazingly funny, but I haven't seen this level from her. And if this was a movie, I think she would be up for an Oscar nomination easily. So it's transformative. That's the best I can say. So love the performances. The show, I just wish had gone a little bit harder into Molly's lane. Feels like Molly's in other people's lanes at times, but it's when you're stepping out of your comfort zone. I know there's a little bit of that in the beginning, but it kind of feels like it's still that in that back half of the series too. So I'm going to give Dying for Sex a B+ as a series, but absolutely encourage you very strongly to please watch this. The performances are amazing and the story's real and it'll break your heart. So thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing, and I'll see you guys on the other side.